नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बि यस्सिर व ला तुअस्सिर वत्तमिम बिल खैर आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन. We have been covering different aspects of a noun. We know that a noun has four different characteristics. We have covered i'rab, we have covered jins, we have covered adad. Today we are going to focus our attention on was'a, which is a fourth characteristic, fourth attribute of a noun. Was'atun will be the pronunciation if we fully vocalize it. So from the was'a point of view, we can divide noun into two categories, nakira and ma'rifa. A reasonable English translation will be ma'rifa definite and nakira indefinite. For a definite noun, its area of influence tends to be limited, while for indefinite noun, its area of influence tends to be wider compared to the definite noun. Or we can say definite noun is restricted in its action and indefinite noun tends to be kind of unrestricted in its area of influence. We can also translate nakira as common noun, because in English we have addressed this issue under the headings of common noun and proper noun. So this we can call common noun, and this we can't really call proper noun because proper noun will be a category of definite noun. So proper noun is one type of definite noun and there will be other categories of definite noun. It is better called, in English we call it a type of noun or kind of a noun, and from the Arabic point of view really it's better to call it capacity of a noun, capacity or area of influence, remit of the area of influence of a noun, which is better because, for example, if a teacher asks students, there are 30 students in a class, and teacher asks them, can Hamid fetch me a glass of water? And hopefully there will be only one Hamid, and Hamid will go and bring a glass of water for his teacher. And if the teacher says, can someone bring me a glass of water? So no, the possibility is any of those 30 students. So the possibility has increased. The area of influence of the noun has increased. So that's the kind of difference between nakira and ma'rifa. In Arabic, we can say every noun will be considered to be a nakira unless we prove that noun to be definite. It makes it easy to address this topic that way. You probably remember when we were discussing jins of a noun, we said every noun in Arabic will be considered muzakkar unless we prove that to be muannas. So it becomes easy. At that time we looked at different nouns and how a noun could be considered to be muannas, and if a noun wasn't muannas then it was considered to be muzakkar. And here what we are going to do is we are going to look at various categories of ma'rifa, and if a noun doesn't fit into those categories we will consider that noun to be nakira. So let us move one step further than from here. We can call this aqsamul ma'rifa, types of ma'rifa. Qismun is wahid, qism type, and aqsam will be plural, which will be broken plural. So aqsamul ma'rifa. Ma'rifati. So Kismun is Wahid. Kismun. And its plural is Aqsam, which is broken plural. So Aqsamul Marifa is our topic today. And the first category we can call that proper noun. Number one, proper noun. Proper noun in Arabic translation will be Ism Alam. Proper noun, as we all know, name of a person, place, or a thing. For example, we say Makkatu, name of a place. Hamidun, name of a person. Let's add Londonu, the name of a place. Also, remember that some of the nouns, about 85%, they are mu'rab, which take tanween, and about 13% they do not take tanween. They are called ghair munsarif. So here Hamid is munsarif, Makkatu ghair munsarif, and Londonu is ghair munsarif as well. So that's Isme Alam. Alam basically is a word used for flag. And those of you who has been to Hajj, you will know that it tends to be extremely busy. There tends to be an ocean of people out there, and there are different groups from different countries, and you usually belong to a group. And if you become separate from your group, you will know that your group will carry a particular flag, and you will know the color of the flag and the design of the flag. And from a distance, you will be able to identify, to make out where exactly your group is. And hopefully you will gradually go and join your group. So alam becomes a kind of sign allocated to something. Certain pronouns, they are also definite. And we are very familiar with personal pronouns, which you all know they're used in place of nouns. And for example, third person nouns in English, he, she, and we can translate these in Arabic kind of huwa, and she will be hiya. So these are kind of equivalent to the English words, third person pronouns, huwa, hiya, separate for masculine and feminine. However, if we look at English pronoun you, so you will be used both for muzakkar, muannas, wahid, jama, but that will not be the case in Arabic. In the case of, for example, muzakkar, we will have anta, and for muannas, we will have anti. So here we become more specific. And the first person pronouns like I, we, they are kind of common between masculine and feminine, just like English. This is I. So that will be ana and nahnu. Ana, I, and nahnu, we. Nahnu, ana. Although this is written ana, but it is pronounced as ana. So we don't pronounce alif here. So ana, nahnu. If we look at some examples, I looked at some of them. For example, Surah Ikhlas, we all know. It starts with Kul huwallahu ahad. The Kul is fail. Huwa Allahu. So he is Allah. Huwa ahadun, he is one. Okay, so here, because Allah lafz jalala is masculine and singular, there can't be anything more singular than that. So we have used singular muzakkar pronoun, and here again singular muzakkar pronoun huwa has come. Whilst huwa Allahu and huwa ahadun, sometimes grammarians say that way. We will analyze this surah in detail, inshallah, in the future. So we will know at that time how to analyze this and how we can translate this and how the translations then tends to differ from one another. Hiya, I did find an ayah about the use of hiya. There are clearly many out there in Quran, but this one was interesting. I think many of you know, who have memorized Surah Mulk, you will recognize this ayah. Iza ulku fiha. Iza ulku fiha sami'u laha. Sami'u laha shahikan. Shahikan. Wahiya tafur. So hiya here. Wahiya tafur. So here we're talking about Jahannam, and remember when we were discussing jinns, and we said types or kinds of feminine nouns, and there was a miscellaneous group, and in that miscellaneous group we said the names of fire are feminine in Arabic. So Jahannam is, well, it's a fire anyway. Jahim is feminine. Nar is feminine. So Iza ulku fiha sami'u laha, when they will be thrown in it, sami'u laha, they will hear her, shahikan, wahiya tafur. So wahiya tafur, woe here is not really means and. Quite commonly woe is used in the meaning of and, but here it isn't, and this is a special kind of woe which is called woe haliya. We will know when we will discuss different types of woe in Arabic. So this gives the meaning of this being a single entity, kind of a masdar. It changes the whole sentence into masdar, and the translation usually will be that her being in a state of boiling, when they will be thrown in it, they will hear her shahikan, which will be sound, which is the kind of sound which, if you have seen donkeys, I don't know, when they're excited or something, I mean, they produce a sound which is inhaling sound. So when they inhale, they produce a very unpleasant, sharp kind of sound. So it will be that kind of frightening sound which will come from that fire, from Jahannam. So hiya tafur, because nar or fire is feminine, so the pronoun, feminine pronoun, has been used here in Quran, in Surah Mulk. So personal pronouns, I have not covered clearly every personal pronoun because our topic today is not personal pronouns. It is just an introduction, and I'm just counting the numbers, type of nouns which are definite. So these are personal pronouns, a few of them. Anta, I've got certain examples of here. Anta, for you, we say anta. Anta and anti for feminine. In Surah Yusuf, when his brother came second time to get something, eat and drink, etc. So they said, during conversation, they said, Kalu is, they said, Kalu means they said. Innaka, So they said, قالوا إنك لأنت يوسف. لأنت يوسف. Basically, this is a little bit more complex than simply saying Anta Yusufu. That's basically what we're saying, what they wanted to say. Anta means are you. Is kind of used for questioning. It's a particle of question. Anta, are you Anta Yusufu? Yusufu. Are you Yusuf? And this expression is a kind of expression which you will make when you're really overwhelmed by something and you have a feeling of awe, and you're really surprised because they were surprised to see him sitting there, in a position of authority, and they say, are you really Yusuf? That kind of expression, innaka la anta Yusufu, which basically we can see this anta Yusufu in it, and Yusufu is masculine and anta pronoun, masculine pronoun has been used, anta, not anti here. And if we want to address a woman, then we can say anti Maryamu. Couldn't find an ayah. Anti Maryamu, for example. Maybe somewhere in Surah Maryam. So anti Maryamu, are you Maryam? So for masculine anta, and for feminine we will use anti. So we are more specific in Arabic. In English we just say you and you. That's it. Easy. But in Arabic it's easy as well. It's quite interesting really.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
Demonstrative pronouns. So our number 3 category is demonstrative pronouns. These nouns are used to point to something, and again they will be masculine, feminine, wahid, jama, and there will be also for tasniya as well, and personal pronouns will also be different for tasniya. We are not going into details of those. We're just counting the numbers here and a few examples, but we will discuss these as a topic again in a future video. So for demonstrative pronoun, for example, in English we say this for something which is near to us, and that, something which is at a distance. So for this in Arabic we say haza. We're very familiar with this. Haza. If it is muzakkar, and if it is muannas. If it is muzakkar, it will be haza, and if it is muannas, if this is muannas, that will be hazi he. So haza for muzakkar and hazi he for muannas. And for a distance objects, that we will say zalika and tilka. Zalika and tilka. So this, that, this muzakkar muannas, that muzakkar and muannas. For example, we say hazal kitabu, this book. Hazal kitabu, this book. So haza is masculine, kitab is masculine. And if we want to point to something which is feminine, so for example, we can say ha, hazihil qaryatu. This town, this community, this village. So hazihil qaryatu, and this ta marbuta is telling us this noun is feminine. So we're using hazihi, this town, hazal kitabu, this book. So muzakkar for muzakkar, muannas for muannas noun. I did find a few ayah, the use of tilka, that, which means that. So there is a beautiful ayah towards the end of para 1, which is Surah Baqarah. Tilka ummatun. Tilka ummatun. You know, ta marbuta. So we have used tilka. Tilka ummatun kad khalat. Many of you possibly remember these ayah. Kad khalat. Tilka ummatun kad khalat laha ma kasabat. Laha ma kasabat walakum ma kasabtum. Not shad here, it's just silent. Walakum ma kasabtum. So tilka ummatun, that was a community which has passed away. Kad khalat, that's a fail. Laha ma kasabat, for it what they earned, what that earned. Walakum ma kasabtum, and for you what you earned. And then the next is wala tas'aluna amma kanu ya'malun, and you will not be asked about what they used to do. So your business, your accountability is for you, their accountability for what they did. So that's quite interesting ayah in Quran about the use of tilka.
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
Number 4, relative pronouns. We can also call these conjunctival pronouns. You know, the conjunction in English is and or, which will come under the category of particle. You know, ism, fail, and harf. Harf is particle. So conjunction is particle, but conjunctival pronouns, they will be nouns. They will be type of nouns. So relative pronouns are conjunctival pronouns. In Arabic, we call them ism mawsul. I'm not sure whether I mentioned demonstrative pronoun, we call them ism ishara. Ism ishara. Ism ishara, and these are ism mawsul. Mawsul, we are kind of saying arrived noun. Wasl means to unite, to join, to combine, to connect. And mawsul is something which has been received, which has been connected to where it was supposed to be. So ism mawsul, kind of arrived noun or connecting noun. It will be used as connecting noun. And we are quite familiar with these nouns. For example, allazi, allazina, very commonly used in the Quran. Allazi. And plural will be allazina. Feminine will be allati, and the plural, which is not that commonly used, is allati, and allahi has been used as well, and allawai has been used as well. So 3 different plurals in Quran has been used of allati. So we will not really, today our topic is not Ismul Mawsul. We will discuss in detail one day, and we will go into all these asma, relative pronouns. But for now, just a few. Allazi is wahid, allazina is plural. These are masculine. Feminine is allati, and there are 3 plural types of allati. If we look at an example from our day-to-day life, so it will be easy to understand. If I say, do you know the people who live in the yellow house? Do you know the people who live in the yellow house? So who, in English we use who for muzakkar, muannas, for wahid, jama, who. But in Arabic, when we use this relative pronoun in place of who, it will be different for wahid and a different different relative pronoun for jama, for example. So if we translate this into English, we will say hal ta'arifu nasa, people, who, allazina. هل تعرف الناس الذين who live? We will have to conjugate fail for plural as well. So yes, ku nuna, and then we can say fil baitil asfari. Fil baitil asfari. So allazina, who, here. So for plural we have used who in English, and here we are saying allazina, not allazi. Bayt al-Asfari, if you remember in Surah Baqarah, we said when we read that ayah that innahu yakulu innaha baqaratun safra'u. Bit of difference. Baqaratun, because Baqara is muannas anyway, and because of ta marbuta as well. Baqaratun safra'u. Safra'u has been used in Surah Baqarah. So Safra'u is muannas, feminine adjective for Baqarah, and masculine of that is asfaru. If we use, this is jar construction and this is rafa construction. So if fi wasn't there, we will say, and then we make it indefinite, we'll say baytun asfaru. For example, we'll say baytun asfaru. Just a revision of that. Baytun asfaru. So that is muzakkar, and muzakkar sifa, and baqaratun safra'u. So muannas, mawsuf, and the sifa is muannas as well. So asfaru masculine, safra'u muannas. So that's just an example which we have already looked at. So in place of this, if we use this who for wahid, here who has been used for jam'a, and if we change that sentence to, do you know the man who lives, here is live, who lives In London, for example, so we can say, do you know the man who lives in London? So we can translate that as hal, again the same fail, ta'rifu, hal ta'rifu rajula, rajulun, and it will be rajula, the man. Do you know the man? Hal ta'rifu rajul allazi, not allazina this time here. Allazi. Hal ta'rifu rajul allazi. And we are going to conjugate the noun for singular masculine. So hal ta'rifu rajul allazi yaskunu, not yaskununa this time, yaskunu, we can say fi Londana. Fi Londana. So here who has been used as allazi. So who allazina and who allazi. So it's used for both. In English, it's used for both, for muzakkar as well as for muannas. Sorry, for wahid as well as for jama. As far as allati is concerned, I looked at an ayah in Surah Waqia. So this is towards the end of the second ruku in Surah Waqia, and that is afara, kind of afara aytum, afara aytumun nar, munnar allati, it will be allati narallati. So nar, fire, is feminine, so we have used allati, not allazi. So afara'aytumun narallati turun is the ayah. Turuna. Have you ever considered the fire which you kindle? So this is a translation which has been given, and quite reasonable translation of that ayah. So that's these are some of the relative pronouns. So that was our number 4 category of marifa, relative pronouns, which are ismu mawsul, not ismu ishara. Ismu ishara is demonstrative pronouns, and these are relative pronouns.
قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان.
And our 5th category is very interesting. We think we all know that, and it's very easy. And that is the kind of the type of marifa which we can make ourselves, any ism into ism nakra, we can make that ism marifa. And how we do that? That ism is made definite. Any indefinite ism is made definite by addition of, made definite by addition of particle al. So if we add al in front of a noun which is nakira, we can convert that noun into marifa. So al comes as a prefix to a noun, making that noun marifa, and that is equal to the English particle the or the. For example, we say rajulun, a man. Rajulun will be a man, and we add al before that, it will become ar-rajulu, a man, the man. Similarly, kitabun, a book, and then al-kitabu, al-kitabu, the book. Okay, baytun, a house, and al-baytu, the house. For example, Kaaba is al-Baytu because that's a specific house, al-Baytu. From Baytun, al-Baytu. Similarly, from Kalamun, a pen, we can easily make it definite by using al-Kalamu. Definite, the pen. So here you can see that when we made an indefinite noun definite, what happened? The tanween has gone. So al and tanween, they do not coexist. Where al comes, tanween goes. So that's an easy way of looking at it. And that also tells us how to identify a noun. There are other markers there are other signs of noun in Arabic, but these two common ones are, if there is a tanween, that is a noun, that cannot be fail. And if there is al on a word, that is also noun, because al never occurs in fail. And tanween is never taken by fail. So if we see tanween on a word, or we see al on a word, then we can identify those words as nouns. They can never be fail. So we now know two markers by which we can recognize a word to be a noun. What we're going to do is, next time, inshallah, we are going to go into details of this topic, al, because it needs a bit of detail at this stage. And the other categories, we are going to go into details of those in the future at some time when we thought we need to go into details of those categories. But next time we will inshallah address this issue of al. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa
يا حامل القرآن قد خصك الرحمن بالفضل والتيجان